Yeah, it's gonna stay in your face. We're live now, so keep talking your mess. All right. I'm gonna send this to
So why don't you do that first before you send us live?
what?
Why we always doing shop when we're live?
Don't listen. Don't come at her. You know you're the guilty one. Don't come at her.
I'm not coming at her. I'm talking to you. I said, why don't you send this before we go live? Why don't we do a shopkeeping before we go live?
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're live.
We are live. I'm just making.
Yeah, we're live.
Here we go.
And
I'm
we're just
sending.
gonna cut this off at the beginning of the show, right? When we upload it.
When we what?
When it's uploaded, we're just gonna edit this part out.
No, we're not gonna
It's
edit
not
it.
happening.
It's right now. It's happening right now.
Okay, let's
It's all
start
about
over.
the natural flow. All right, rewind, come again, and go.
Lights, camera, action.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Listen, so pardon my crazy friends and their antics. Welcome to Dollars and Cents. Now, a couple things we want to get out of the way. I hope everything is all right with you. You know, we're still dealing with the pandemic, so I hope you're doing well and everything is okay, and we're doing our best to stay safe. We are here at 1 o'clock normally on Thursdays, but we had to make a slight adjustment because schedule conflicts, and we didn't want to not do it, right?
Yeah, because we missed it the last couple of weeks.
we will listen. Whenever that happens, boy, I tell you, it just works well for all of us, eh? Because
Yeah.
one person will send a message, and then
Same
what?
reaction.
It works. Yeah, yeah.
One of those days.
But I'm so glad when the first person sends it.
Yeah. But yeah, we all have busy schedules. Wade and myself, we're ministers, and Keisha is out there on the financial grind,
On the
mortgage,
hustle.
and doing a whole bunch of other things. I don't know if we can say all of them.
Yes.
because
Road to success.
we can't say all of them, so we'll just leave that one. And the other thing is this: we just want to make sure that for all the information that we're bringing here,
It's information.
it's just information, folks. We don't claim to be, financial analysts, financial advisors.
Advisors.
What else? We don't claim to be experts in this particular area. We're just bringing information and, like Keisha always say, common sense advice, right?
Advice.
Well, I actually say bring in knowledge and
Oh,
opportunity.
knowledge and
How long
understanding.
we been doing this now?
I am an expert mortgage agent, though. So any questions on that note, definitely.
Listen, man, all we do, we just try to help you make sense of your dollars.
That's it.
That's
That's it. Yeah.
That's
All right.
it. We'll we remember we're on Facebook and YouTube, Dollars and Cents team. Please support and subscribe. We're both on YouTube and Facebook and YouTube.
Mhm.
Share it to your links. Just share it to your peeps, and give us a follow, give us a like, give us a
And
subscribe,
comment.
right? And comment as well, please. I can see the comments. We'll bring the comments in when we are here, and yeah, we'll interact together. I don't know. You guys don't normally have your chat windows open, do you? Like on Facebook or YouTube, no?
No, we just focus on the show. We just
All right, whatever. So we have 3 individuals right now. Shout outs to whoever you are, watching right now. I hope everything's all right with you. Don't know who you are.
That's the
Shout
three
out.
of us.
3 of us, get out of here. We don't count. All right. So to start out, guys, Keisha had sent me an article here. Well, let me just prep the folks. So we're gonna be looking at a lady who saved a significant amount of money in a very short period of time. I think the title says so anyways, right? But before we do that, we're just gonna give you a little icebreaker here. So, Keisha, the article that you sent me is from CP24. I think we can trust them, right?
Yes, hopefully. Yes.
One of our news outlets there. It says third round of pandemic payouts coming for Ontario parents. Budget says Ontario families with children can expect to receive a new round of payments from the government aimed at relieving pressures related to the pandemic. It says the Ontario COVID-19 child benefit will give parents at least $400 for each of their children in a third round of payouts. Whoa. So, yeah, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, definitely. So that's a great, another, funds that are coming to our parents, and I hope we're using it wisely. I would probably put a little bit of that, if possible, into the RESP as well. So, we know that we're dealing with a pandemic, and we know that for a lot of families overall, there is a financial strain. So it's good to know that the government has actually been putting out some funds. It's not the first one, as it says. It's a third round. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be something that parents are going to be happy to receive in their bank account when that comes through. And 400 per child. Oh,
400 per child. So people are like kicking themselves. Man, I knew I should have had more. Is that what?
Yeah.
Says here, the direct payment paired with a temporary 20% top up on Ontario's childcare tax is aimed at easing the economic burden. Okay, we know that. Let me see here. It's like the first round of direct payments to parents, called the Support for Learners program, when it was announced nearly a year ago, offered 200 per child, the age 12 to 12, the age of 12, or 250 per child, or youth with special needs. Okay, and it just repeats it. So 400 per child up to grade 12, younger 500 per child, or youth with special needs. The initial two rounds cost the province a total of $868 million, while the latest new payout has an expected price tag of $980 million. I think those are the major points.
Yeah, that's the I guess that's the cost to the government.
Yeah.
All we need to know is that some more money is coming.
that's the punchline.
we got into the discussion last time. Like, what does this mean for, in the long? What does this mean? Like, in terms of it's not free. Remember, we got into that talk. It's not.
No, well, you talk about CERB, right?
But it doesn't matter.
But this is, well, it's just going to be added to the government's tax bill. That's all. So it's not free money. It's money that's been held in reserve. And so what's going to happen is that they have to build up back the reserve when this is all done.
Yeah, but okay. But to me, a comment. What does that mean? Build up back the reserve. It's not.
Okay, in the budget.
Break it down.
when the government, when they put their budget together, it's kind of like when you government tax.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You see, that's one of the three that's watching online right now. Okay, when you do your budgets, right? Your own personal budget, you set aside an amount for savings. You have your bills, and you set aside an amount for savings. But when the government are doing their fiscal budget or whatever, they have an amount that they set aside for savings.
Okay.
Right? And so that saving amount is what goes into the reserve for emergencies such as pandemics and so forth and so on. And so when they go into that for times like these, for programs like these, and so that's a part of the budget preparation. So that's how. So they have. So now that that's being depleted or going down, that has to be replenished.
Right.
Right. And so part of the budget will be going towards replenishing that. So that's where some of our tax dollars will be going.
I'm thinking that the payback would be minimal though, if there's one, right? When we think of,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, when we think of, I mean, 400, what would the potential payback be on that? Just the traditional or the standard 13%. If parents have, things to write off, right? Extracurricular activities, childcare, stuff like that. I don't think it would be a great hit. You might be a better person to answer that question, but with regards to their taxes, do you think it's going to be, something that's going to be detrimental? I don't see it, but what are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't see it. I don't see it being, I think this is more like a grant. I could be wrong. I haven't article in depth. It's more like a grant. I think the hit comes when they look at when the budget comes down and how much taxes we'll be paying. That's where the hit will come. Not, I don't think it's going to be a personal hit per se, where it affect you adversely in terms of, as you do your income tax return, a certain amount will be allocated towards that. I'd have to look at it, but I don't believe that's the case. So
shout outs to Akeem. What's going on, my friend? I'm good, man. I'm good. So this is not a SERB. Is there a name for this? What is this called?
It's just
a third round.
This is because they gave us twice already to pay kids, but it's not tax. It's not a taxable.
SERB to the third power.
No, this is not SERB. SERB is totally.
No, it's not SERB. Yeah.
I know. But it's just okay. They gave us money. They call it SERB, right? Now they're giving us more money, and they're not going to put a name to it. It's not the same. It's
well, you see, you're looking
the pandemic.
It's different because it's also a different entity that's doing this. This is provincial versus federal.
Okay, thank you, sir. You see. I mean, reading is fundamental, but sometimes even when they read, so it's the province that's doing it.
Wait, is it the province? Hold on. Because I know the last two have been, if we're looking at the same thing, I know the last two. Yeah, for Ontario appearance. Yeah, this is provincial.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so federal, but all right.
And this also is coming from the reserves.
Yeah. And just, something to put out there. When we first started Dollars and Cents, what we came in on was, of course, that, the SERB, where we allow free money. We're in tax season, so
payback time.
Feedback, at this point, with all those who have had, the opportunity to get this help, from the government. Would love to get some feedback with regards to how that might have affected your tax, if any at all. Just to put some, some details in there as to us kind of pining on that fact that it is money that you do have to pay back. Well, not the full amount, but of course there's a, portion that you would have to pay back. But how is that affecting you, if any at all, while you're filing your taxes in this tax season?
All right. Okay. So we're just chit-chatting, folks, about the a news report that came out from CP24 about the third round of pandemic payouts coming to Ontario parents.
Yes,
right.
And as you know, it's about knowing what's happening. I think it's the same thing where you probably have to apply online. So we're here to bring you the knowledge, right? So. If you qualify for it, definitely, something else is coming around again. And so just be prepared.
Look out for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And you see, as a matter of fact, this is part of the budget that they will be presenting.
Okay.
The Ontario government will be presenting.
Any other thing before we jump into our main article here, or that's that this is clear enough?
Yeah, it's clear enough.
More
400 coming your way, possibly.
More free.
Yeah, but the thing is, It was 200 before.
It was 200 before.
It's actually double.
Yes. Yeah. So do the math.
Akeem says this: inflation interest rates will rise next year and for the foreseeable future. As per the governor of the Bank of Canada, we must prepare to hedge ourselves against the rise.
Right.
Position yourselves. Yes.
All right. Thanks, my boy. Thanks, Akeem, for contributing, man, and thanks for supporting us on here. All right. So we're ready for our main article now?
Yes, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it because, one of us has to go.
You're not going to call it a name?
One of us.
Remember, this is an hour session, so we got to jam pack it, get all the good stuff in there, and exit.
Yeah, it was always an hour. I mean,
exactly.
Were we not?
We just switched the time. That's all. Yeah.
What were you trying to say, Keisha?
What are you trying to say?
You're channeling a little weight there, but it's
easy now. Come on, children, play nice.
All right. So this article here is it's from the Business Insider, and it was making its way around social media, right? It's titled "A Single Mom Who Saved $750,000 in 4 years, and she followed 6 steps. 6 steps, right? Her name is Lakeisha Simmons. She after her divorce, Lakeisha felt financially insecure, and she began to look for solutions, right? So here they give it starts by giving some basic information, and then it goes into the 6 steps. Let me read it. In 2017, Lakeisha Simmons' financial situation changed dramatically after going through a divorce. She became a single mom with 2 children under the age of 10. Simmons didn't want to move her children, so she kept her marital home in Nashville, Tennessee, but had to pay the mortgage on a single income. All right? I don't need to read everything up. I'll put it in the description box so that you can read it. But
yeah.
Point number 1, or step number 1, she started reading personal finance books. Right? She began her journey with limited knowledge about personal finance. She started reading blogs, articles, and books on the subject. Right? On the subject. Let's see here. Until she found solutions that were viable for her. Her favorite resource were the blog Mr. Money Mustache and Millennial Revolution.
So let's look at the concept or the principle or what she did.
The first one, she started reading personal finance. Oh, hold on. I'm getting the feedback here. Is that you, Wade, or is it?
No, I think let me mute.
Is it me?
Try muting yourself, Keisha. Yeah, it was you, Keisha.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right, we got to work with it.
Okay. Personal finance books. She started to read different information. What can we say now in terms of this $750,000 thing? So she started. That's the first part.
So what she did, she started to educate herself on because what I think what you read there was that she said she felt insecure about her finances, and so she realized the situation, and so what she did was try to get better at it, to get rid of that insecurity, and to see how she could go about it, how she could make herself better, how she could become more informed. Which is one of the things that this show does, is try to help people to get informed about their dollars and cents.
Yeah, and I really want to point out the reading. How important it is to build up some knowledge. Where reading is concerned. Getting books with some great information. There's 2 things that comes to mind. I remember as a teenager, and I don't remember where I heard this saying before, but particularly for our culture, I remember someone saying before, if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book, right?
I heard that.
And there was more understanding of it when I watched that movie, Hidden Figures, based on a true story of, I think her name was Katherine Johnson, who had a hand in, the an astronaut making it to, was it to the moon? I can't remember. But, it was brought out that he had a hand in it, that a Black person had a hand in making history, right? And I remember in that movie, they had, things were starting to change. IBM was coming into play and all that type of stuff. And she was trying to get into the game and educate herself so she would be positioned for when those changes started to take place. And she went to the library, which in those times, segregated. You had the Black library, for colors, and then you had for Caucasians. And the book that she needed, to set up these computers and all that stuff wasn't at the colored library. And so I don't even know, I can't say that she snuck in. I think she went in boldly into the, the white library, I guess one would say. And there the book was, right? It wasn't provided in the colored library. And, these are the things with regards to, having the information. Unfortunately, back then, the information wasn't made accessible. As you can see, it was segregated and made, that knowledge was only made known to a certain culture, unfortunately.
Right.
But it just goes back to saying that it is so important for us to read and, fill up our minds with information. And this mother, she did that simply in terms of finances. You have the internet, there's so many resources out there, and she went into action and started to, this was the first step, right?
Right. Blogs, articles, and books. I think in terms of, you don't have, there are a lot of things I don't know. And but I do know how to read. I may not even make sense of the information at first, but just the fact that I'm reading the information, something else will happen along the road. I may meet somebody like you, Keisha, or Wade, and you start using some of those concepts and terminology that I read, and then things will start making sense. Sometimes I think maybe what we do is that we look at things from a complex point of view. Well, because I don't have the knowledge, then reading about these things don't make any sense. That's not necessarily true. You don't have to have the information. The information is going to be provided to you as you read, and you're gonna understand some things. I think sometimes the thing is so simple we just sort of gloss over it. But yeah, so she educated herself, right?
Yeah.
Anything else, Wade, or you want me to give you the second point?
No, I think you have it covered. Because I think it's well, let's go to the second point.
All right, second point. She sold her home. Simmons decided to sell her 5-bedroom house and move into a 1,000 square foot 2-bedroom apartment. The move allowed her to save $12,600 a year from overall housing expenses. She took the profit she netted from the sale, invested it in a brokerage account.
Okay.
That's
fire away, mortgage agent.
Your house is your castle.
I think I think out of all the points, I would really have to understand all the math where that's concerned, because I will say all the time, home ownership is not for everyone, right? There's people that are quite happy renting, it works for them. I think my only I don't want to say if it's concern, but just from to renting, because your home is like a bank account. So I would really have to understand all the math with regards to how that saving came about, because I always like to say you're building someone else's dream. You're paying rent, you're building someone else's dream. If you're paying a mortgage, that's your account, that's your money, that's your dream. And when you're ready to actually cash out, as I guess that she did, but it's just the concept of it. What's your thoughts on?
Before just so I don't want to forget this. Sometimes I think we have to look at these situations as specific to an individual, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I would,
Doesn't have to make sense. Yeah.
like you said, it's not like this the example for everybody, right? But for her situation. Go ahead, Wade.
It worked, yeah.
I have nothing to say now. No, and that's exactly that's along the lines of what I was going to say, because we don't know. You see, and this is one of the things in that in her reading her finance book, that's where she got that idea that, you know what, some money and I can. This is one way of getting it, because I have moving up in the house, and so we don't know what the dollar is worth, how much profit she gave from that, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So a part of it also, but no, alternative to that, selling the house. What in our context, if you don't want to sell the house, if you don't want to do that, what you could do is you could probably take some of the equity out, right?
Right.
And then use that for investment. And it's this. There's also
there's many different
there are different scenarios. You know, you don't have to go all the way to selling the house. You could also, take the equity. And guess what? The interest that you use for investment purposes on your equity, guess what? You can write it off in when you do your taxes, right? The cost for investment. So and it all depends, because it could be that in terms of the profit that she got from selling the house, she maybe got a $500,000 profit.
Press mute, Keisha. Press mute just like
Right. She probably got $500,000 profit from the from selling that. We don't know. We don't know the details. Just like you said, Keisha, I got to look at the math. But the idea is, so that gave her a base which she could invest. Right now, alternative to that, as I said, you could take out some of the equity out of your own home and invest that. So first she started reading, and after the reading, she got some knowledge about what she could do, and so she decided to get that base. Let me sell my house. Maybe rent. Maybe she's okay with renting. Maybe she didn't need a 5-bedroom house, right? And so that was something that she decided she was going to get rid of.
All right. Third point. She tracked her expenses. Tracking. She used 3 tools to track her plan. First, she created a spreadsheet to figure out what expenses she had the entire year. The chart was a way to pre-plan. Right. Then she used the budgeting map app Mint. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. I don't know what it is. Mint.
We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Okay, her real-time transactions. And finally, she signed up for an account with Personal Capital, which helped her track her net worth.
Right.
Okay, go.
Well, it's pretty simple. Track your expenses. That's what we tried. That's one of the things that we had when we had Adriana on. That's one of the things that we covered: tracking your expenses, tracking how much you spend, tracking different. Look at ways at which you can. I think that's one of the other steps. And along with tracking your expenses, keep track of how much you spend and where you're spending it and what it's costing.
Yeah, I think that is extremely important. One of the ways that I started with regards to tracking is actually keeping every receipt, within a month span. And then just kind of categorizing and seeing exactly where I'm spending. And I think it's so important because sometimes we really don't realize, especially when we're in a, debit tap type of society, you don't realize where your money is going, and banks nowadays, for the most part, they have things that are set up where you can, it's categorized as to where your money is going. It's very important for you to kind of start tracking that, because then you kind of open up your eyes. Like when I looked at that, I was like, oh, I'm spending a little bit more on this than I thought. Didn't even realize like, oh, I'm spending a lot more on the grocery than I thought. So it kind of puts you in check, and so important. Yes, tracking your expenses, very, very important.
I mean, this article mentioned Mint, and you mentioned the bank, and with different, you know of any other apps out there, or just?
No, actually, when I read the article, I actually right away downloaded that Mint because I wanted to, see what it's about. And yeah, it is. It connects right to your bank, and it is pretty good. It shows your cash flow. It breaks down everything. Sometimes you have to enter your own category because it might categorize as to what it thinks it is, and so you have to just make sure you correct that. But it's a pretty good app. I so far like it. Gives you alerts. If you're able to budget, and so if you've gone over your budget, it sends an alert that you're over. I've already gotten an over. So yeah, that's interesting.
All right.
Yeah. So what did she do? Let's just recap. She read, and she put into action what she read, which is she started off by selling her home, and then the next thing she did was to tracking her expenses. And what's the next one?
Tracking her expenses, and then she
looked for ways to save,
to
cut her monthly bills. Right?
And then here, this is what the next one is.
No, well, let's talk about that. Well, it's kind of along with tracking. Tracking just shows you what you're spending, right? And then what that allows you to do is say, am I spending too much on this? Am I double spending on this? Am I doing this? So that gives you that information that you need to see where your money is going. Is essentially what that is, right? And then the next one, she looked for ways to cut her monthly bills. And so
in terms of looking for ways to cut her monthly bills, it says here she got rid of cable TV, which saved her $1,448 a year. But we know about that, Wade, right? Cable is outdated now. No.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Yeah, so maybe that's what she found out too, that cable is outdated, and so she said, you know what, I'm getting rid of cable. I'm going with the Android box.
She switched. Oh, that's where I know I learned Mint. She says she switched to Mint Mobile. Ryan Reynolds, that actor, he's always promoting Mint Mobile. Oh my, I didn't know they were so big. She promoted, switched to Mint Mobile, which offered her fixed rates and saved her $1,620 a year. She adjusted her insurance policies to more affordable monthly payments, right? She even changed the grocery store she shopped at, avoiding high-priced chain stores.
No frills, baby.
That's right.
She was serious.
Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, you gotta be intentional.
And that's because she had a goal in mind. She set her goals. She had a goal in mind, and so she said, "You know what? I'm gonna work towards that goal," and that's what she did.
Right? Yeah. So here's a moment. What are your goals? Stop and think about that for a moment. What are your goals, and what are you willing to do to make those steps towards that goal? Think about it.
Okay. And so she went for a cheaper phone plan. She went for by the way, Mint is actually Intuit. It's part of Intuit, so they're pretty large.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah. And so that's why. And these are areas. These are things that we can do. Anyone can do that. Once you have an income coming in, these are things that we can do. And as a regular individual can do that, and you can realize the savings. But the thing is that what are you willing to I guess it's a sacrifice. What are you willing to live without? Do you need the 20 channels when you're only watching 2?
Yeah. What are you willing to uncomfortable yourself now so that you could be comfortable later? That's the question. Yeah.
Okay, so now the next item, she began maxing out her tax advantage retirement accounts.
Yeah.
Okay. So what this, and
She started to max out her 403B, a retirement fund provided by her employer. She
okay.
then learned about an additional option employer offered, a 457B. The account is tax advantage deferred compensation plan, allows her to contribute pre-tax dollars. I don't know what that means, but whatever. We'll talk. Once
Canada.
once both her employer-sponsored accounts were maxed out, she moved to the remainder of her available funds to both IRA. Because of her savings effort, she was able to contribute 33% of her income towards retirement fund.
All right. So in Canada, basically what it is, this is like contributing to a tax, to a tax RRSPs, right? It's anything that's going to defer your taxes, reduce your taxes now, defer to when you are in a different tax bracket, preferably a lower tax bracket for your retirement. So basically, if you're in Canada, you would max out, put in the maximum that you can, that you're able to afford, that would reduce your taxes now. Yeah. So max out your RSP contribution.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's essentially what she does. And then they have other tax-free situations that would give you a tax break now, like limited partnerships and so on. They're different things, different instruments. You'd have to speak to your financial advisor, and they would be able to assist you with that, with these various tax-free options, tax-free situations.
That's not us?
No, that's not us.
No. Definitely not us.
No, not us.
Oh, I'm just giving you another opportunity to put out the disclaimer. All right, number 6. She started contributing to a brokerage account. When Simmons was comfortable with her ability to contribute to a retirement fund, she began putting money into her brokerage account. Through Vanguard, her investments were a mix of index funds and exchange-traded funds. Well, I'm just reading it, right? I don't have to understand it.
Yeah.
Which her portfolio diversified. She did not put in a specific amount every month. Instead, her goal was to invest whatever amount was left from her budget. To become financially independent, I just need to switch my mindset from spending money to saving money to investing money, Simmons told Insider.
Yeah, so in essence, what she did is she hooked up with, she went in, she started putting money in investments. Mm-hmm. She got a brokerage account. There are different things. Again, speak to your financial advisor and they'll be able to advise you on that. They have some self-directed investment accounts like, what is it, a Wealth Trade or something, Quest Trade, and these different ones where you basically do your own directed, but there are professionals there that can do it. But why she was able to do it is because she read on how to do it. She read books, and then that helped her. She acquired the knowledge that she needed to do in some of these areas.
And with like index funds, I believe it balances different type of stocks that kind of covers everything, so it's not as risky.
Yes. One,
right. Putting into one, and it balances everything out. So, she obviously was not completely a risk taker, and it was a safe way of investing. So yeah, definitely contact investment specialists on those stuff.
Yeah, so it's like a mutual fund, right? Where it's mutual funds, they do a wide range. So a wide range of instruments that you invest in, and that will enable you to kind of balance things out when one is not doing so well. If bonds aren't doing well, the equity market might be up, and and stocks, and so it balances it out. And so what you look for is sustained growth in terms of your money. Whereas if you're just in one area, when that goes down, then your portfolio goes down. But if you have a balanced portfolio, then you look for the growth offsets the I don't want to say losses, but the whole thing. What you look for is sustained growth over time, and so that's what she did in terms of the brokerage account. But notice what it says there. It's not she didn't have a set amount. It's that she puts in every month. But what she kept on doing, she kept on putting in something, because she said what she had left over from her, where is it? Okay, right there, stop. She did not put in a specific amount. Instead, her goal was to invest whatever amount was left over from her budget. Right? So she stuck to her budget, and if she had money left over, if she found some savings somewhere within that month, that's what she invested in her brokerage account, and that grew. And depending on the percentage, depending on what the percentage return is, that will enable her portfolio to grow. And it says that she's on track to become a millionaire by 2022.
I was about to ask, okay, well, but you said it. I was saying in terms of this amount of funds that she's saving, she's, it's good. That's a good thing, right?
It is a good thing. Again, as Keisha mentioned earlier, we don't know the seed money.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know how much it was that she got off the profit of the sale of the house. So there's some unknowns. It's good. It's a good headline. But then
well, we're talking about it, so it definitely is.
Yeah, it's a good headline. But what I don't want us to lose is the principles that the steps that she.
Right.
Yes. Yes, because not everyone has a home to sell right now where you're going to, that puts her a little bit ahead of the game, the fact that she had a home to sell. But really, you're absolutely right, Wade. It is the principles that we're trying to drive in here to kind of, program your mind to start taking these type of, steps or taking notes from these type of steps as to how you can pave your way, to, of course, a millionaire or more.
It might not be a home, but, it might be a car. It might be, just a small step. That jacket that you have that costs hundreds of dollars, and you can put it up on Facebook.
Nike shoes.
Yeah, something small can turn out into something big. But
yes, it can.
Okay, guys. I mean, that's pretty much what the article says. In terms of those 6 steps. Very informative. I like, 4 years. That's a good, and she's on her way to becoming financially independent. Okay, just in terms of what kind of lessons are her children learning to see mom, do this? I mean, if I don't know if somehow this broadcast may end up hitting Lakeisha. Lakeisha, we'd love to have you on here to come and talk to us here from the Dollars and Cents team. I'd love to hear from her about her elaborating on some of these things a little bit more.
Hashtag it.
But yeah, what about her kids? Like, what kind of impact do you think this thing had, her doing like this on?
I think that is the question is she taking this journey with her kids? I mean, often, I shouldn't say often, but, in many cases, as adults, we're doing things and just doing things, not really engaging our children to kind of learn in the process. And this is one of the things, once again, that we've touched on with regards to, changing the narrative where, our children, we are installing good money management principles. So, of course, we can't really say what impact, if any, on her kids, because it completely depends on if she has shared this journey with her children. Hopefully she has. So that they can also take a note from it. I want to quickly point out as well with regards to the Vanguard index funds stock, which is something that I learned maybe about a month ago. I have a cousin who actually did a bit of a broadcast on his Facebook. My mentality was I always thought that you have to have get a good lump sum of money, to put on a stock or to buy a stock for a good amount over time, or I mean in one shot. But as I'm learning as well in different areas, because stocks is not my area of expertise. But what she pointed out there was something that I learned, slowly putting that in. So some people would do it every year. You have that brokerage account, you do it every year. It could be every paycheck, as she does that. Whatever's left, she puts it in, and it will grow over time. And that investment
Keisha's breaking up a little bit there.
Grows by the time she's really flourished. And she's so you don't have to have that big amount. Definitely could be, as you get it, you're putting down for sure.
All right.
I think we got the gist of what you said, but you were breaking up there, but it's okay.
Oh, geez, someone having confusion.
For the first time.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh,
all right.
We'll save that for off the air, I guess. Whoa. Room got very uncomfortable all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Say what?
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Shots fired. That's all I'm saying.
Oh gosh.
All right. You listen, that's the time that we have. You know, I think this was a very good show. I like reading articles like this. And it just in terms of one of the points that she made in terms of reading, for me, reading this was informative. It was good.
Yes.
Right. It was very good. And I all right. I won't tell you why I'm laughing, Keisha, but let's just say we gotta sign off. All right, folks. So listen, we'll see. So we're going back to our regular schedule next week. No.
No, I think 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Okay, we'll work with the 12.
This is our new regular schedule.
Yes.
Until the new regular comes back again, or the regular comes back. Okay. All right. So take care of yourselves, Wade, Keisha.
All right. Take care. Keisha, go ahead.
Oh, yes. As you know, we're here bringing knowledge and opportunity to those in our community.
And we're here to try to help you make sense of your dollars.
All right, folks. You heard the team. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Subscribe and like. Subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook. Take care of yourself.
Subscribe, like, and share on YouTube.
Share, comment, like, share, and comment. Okay. Yeah. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. All right.
Take one line to do. Get it right.